they have a Hifz school. And after the kids finish Hifz, Assalamu alaikum. No follow-up after that. Hafiz, which is a great achievement, but he has no idea what he's doing. What is he reciting? He has no idea what is the meaning of the ayat that he is reciting. So this is the first time, inshallah ta'ala, we will be introducing a program called Fityah. إِنَّهُمْ فِتْيَةٌ آمَنُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ وَزِدْنَاهُمْ هُدًى. Program called Fityah. It will be teaching, it's strictly for Huffaz. Your son is a Hafiz, your daughter is a Hafiza. After they finish, they come for 1 school year. After school, 5 to 7, just like you drop your kids for Nadira or for part-time Hifz, you drop your kids for this program. What do they study in this program? They study 3 things, as you see in the... Oh, you seeing me? Okay. Where's Samir? Mustafa, can you put the... Yeah. They study 3 things. They study how to understand the Quran. And that's going to be explained in details with Ustad Michael. And then I will be teaching the stories of the Quran. And I will tell you how is that beneficial. And the most important thing, we will be teaching these children akhlaq, manners. You know, he is a hafiz of the Quran, so he has the best thing in his heart. So let's fill up the rest of the limbs with the best akhlaq, inshallah ta'ala. Now, with respect to the kids who already finished the Quran once, like there are some kids that finished from our school once, finished the Quran, but they did not review. They have one of the 2 choices. Either they register 1 more year to review the whole Quran, which is highly recommended. But if the kid wants to go back to school, then we have a part-time Hifz program, will be led by Sheikh Saif. That is for the people who finish the Quran and would like to review their Quran. They go with Sheikh Saif again on a daily basis after school. Now, how does the Arabic program work?
Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. Can we have it full screen so that they can see what's written on the slides?
What do you want?
It's showing full screen on here, but it's not showing full screen.
No, it's showing upstairs. It's showing up on top too.
Inshallah. Okay, inshallah. Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah.
You can read from here.
Okay, so for the Arabic portion is going to be basically half of the course, as you heard. Half the course is Arabic, then the other piece is going to be stories of the Quran and akhlaq, inshallah. So what's the goal of the Arabic portion of the course? The goal is twofold. Number 1, make them think. As they're reading the Quran, make them think. That's the navigation portion. They have to be able to understand, know where they are, and think about what they're saying, what they're reading, what they're reviewing, whatever it is, think about it. And the second piece is to have comprehension, understanding what's going on, understanding the meaning, inshallah. So let's go into more details on how to achieve those goals, what's the method, what's the resources we're going to use, inshallah. Inshallah. So the first thing that they need is vocabulary. The vocabulary we're going to use, inshallah, is going to empower the students, not with a list of vocab, no. Empower the students to select the vocab themselves, own the vocab, and have the essential vocabulary. We're not going to go in order of the words. We're going to go in order of importance. The words that are repeated the most, the words that are most important, inshallah. The second piece is flow in translation. If you read a translation of the Quran, they've adjusted it according to the Arabic, they've adjusted it so that it's easy to understand. If you go literally in Arabic, it doesn't flow. If you translate words you already know, literally, and put them together, it doesn't make much sense. It's not always very easy to understand what it says. So once we've translated, once we've identified the important words that we already know, we still have to make one more step to have a flowing translation, something that's easy to remember what it's talking about. So then this could potentially be the most important step in the process. is that now we have an understanding of a surah, a page, a portion of the Quran. So we need two things. Number one, we need to identify reference points in the surah so that at one glance, we can remember what the surah is talking about. One word here, one ayah here, one line here, and we understand what Allah is saying in the whole page because we studied it. We don't need to restudy it. We can just use these reference points to remember what the page is talking about. And the second piece is to go with the root letters of the words. And this is something that you would be amazed how much repetition there is even in Juz Amma by itself. The words that are repeated over and over again, even just in Juz Amma, but you don't see it at first glance. You have to look at the root letters to be able to see this is a word I already know, inshallah. Next piece, inshallah, getting a feel for the language. We are going to touch upon some grammar in the course. It's necessary. But all the grammar we're going to do, 100% of the grammar we're going to do, inshallah, will be by translation. We're not going to do charts. We're not going to do conjugations. We're not going to do bullet points number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the rule. We're just going to translate and translate and translate and see these very few concepts of grammar that we're going to teach, inshallah, to make it very smooth for the students. Lastly, inshallah, this is for students who have already memorized the Quran. That doesn't necessarily mean that they will know how to study the meaning. It's a different type of a class. Quran is just you repeat, 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 repeat. In this one, you have to study a little bit of vocab. You have to study a little bit of the translation of grammar that we've done. You have to review and you have to organize your review. And so we're going to make sure that the students grow in their maturity to learn, just like they would in normal high school or normal college. Grow in maturity to learn how to take notes and how to review effectively, inshallah. So that's the method that we're going to use. What are the resources? Bismillah. Of course, they're going to have some vocabulary lists. Not every word, the selected words, the important words. And if there's a word in a surah that we've already seen, then it's not in the new list. They have to refer back to the list that they had before. They should know that word by now. Quran handouts that are specifically made for them to be able to take notes effectively. And there's a next slide to show you a sample of that, inshallah. Of course, there's going to be a small handout for the concepts of Arabic, inshallah. So a little bit of grammar, that's also on one of the next slides, inshallah. And then continuous assessment. This is the part that's very important to understand for this particular class. After school hours, usually when you hear after school, you think it's not very organized. We are going to make it a point to have continuous assessment. So they're going to have a daily pop quiz. So it's not a pop quiz anymore, and they know it's daily. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they have to turn in something from the previous day. We're going to have a weekly quiz, and they know that even if it wasn't on the pop quiz, it might come on the week quiz. So they have to review consistently. And then for each module, it's going to be 4 modules, inshallah. Each module is going to have a module test. So the students are being held accountable. So out of the 4 days of the week, that's 4 times an hour of Arabic, inshallah. Out of those 4 days, one of them is going to be a half hour of a quiz. And then out of a 2-month period, one of them is going to be a complete test for the whole period, or for the whole day, inshallah. Lastly, what surahs are we going to cover? In 1 year, 1 hour a day, 4 days a week, we cannot do the entire Quran. Actually, we could do the entire Quran, but then we would have no method. It would be rote memorization and they wouldn't remember the next day. To have that review, for them to review well and have the method, we want them to come out that they're able to pick up any page of the Quran and understand what's going on. So they have to have the essential words and the essential concepts of how to translate a sentence from Arabic into English. And so for that, we have to go over a certain number of surahs that we've selected, inshallah, to cover all the vocabulary. So we're going to start from the juz at the back of the Quran, small surahs, and we're going to go 3 juz. So it already gets pretty big. And half of that is Makki Quran and half of it is Medini Quran, which covers a wide range of concepts and words in Arabic, inshallah. Then after that, we're going to go to Surah Al-Baqarah, complete Surah Al-Baqarah, and then a few essential picked surahs, Surah Yusuf, Surah Al-Kahf, and Surah Al-Nur, that we've chosen as very important surahs. Now after that, inshallah, first let me show you a sample of the paper they're going to have to take notes. Words are already highlighted for them to see which ones are important and which ones are less important. They have space in between the lines to take notes, and they have a space on the side to take notes, inshallah. This is a very effective method that we've been using at Good Tree Academy, and it works very well, especially for middle school, high school students. Inshallah. So now, what's the goal to try to reach by the end of the year? We said that the goal is for them to think about the Quran as they're saying it, to be able to navigate, know where they are, and at the same time understand exactly what's going on. So more specifically, out of this class, the Arabic is not showing. Jumla ismiya, jumla fi'liya. Very few grammar, very few concepts of grammar. For those of you who are familiar, we're going to go over the verbs, the pronouns, the marfu', mansub, and majroor, inshallah. The idafa. We're going to go over some of these few concepts, but again, we're going to do them by translation. We're not going to do conjugation charts or drills except in translation, direct translation, inshallah. Then you know that in language there's 4 skills that people emphasize on. I would say that with Quran there's a 5th one, but the 4 regular skills of language is reading comprehension and listening comprehension, and then writing, being able to compose in the language, and speaking the language. So out of these 4, we're going to select the 2 most important ones for the Quran, which are to listen and understand, or read and understand. Comprehension, oral comprehension and written comprehension, inshallah. And now the 5th piece that I would say is also a skill of language when it comes to the Quran is to know where you are. To be able to think about the Quran as you're reciting, to know where you are, to have an idea of what surah was before and what surah is coming up, or what ayah, or to know where you are in the page. Basically, Quran navigation is a skill set of its own, inshallah. So out of these language skills, we have reading comprehension and oral comprehension. The reading comprehension portion, any page of the Quran, even one that's not from the surahs we've covered a second ago, even a page that's not from there, they should know how to translate it, because the words are going to be very frequent. They're going to know most of the words, and the words that they don't, they know where to look for them. It's going to be very few, and they know how to look for them, inshallah. They can tell most of the translation, and they know how to learn the vocabulary that they don't know yet. And then for the listening comprehension, let me just give you an example that there was a young Hifz who came to the Masjid to be tested for the Taraweeh, I think. And he wanted to recite the passage of the dua of Musa, Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri. And he started from the ayah right before that, and he started from there, right after Surah Al-Fatiha, he started and he said, idhab ila fir'aun innaka tagha. SubhanAllah, this flips the meaning. Go to Fir'aun, you are a rebel. Allah says to Musa. No, that's not what Allah says to Musa. Right? So the Hufadh, when they come out of this program, they will be able to tell on the spot. If I say innaka tagha, first of all, it's not grammar, it should be innaka taghaita. And second of all, it means Musa is a rebel. Musa is not a rebel. So that doesn't make sense. They could go back, and even if they don't remember what's the correct sentence, at least they can make it into something that does make sense, inshallah. And the second piece, of course, is that when they're behind an imam, they understand what's going on. They know the meaning of what they've been recited, inshallah.
Brother Michael, by the way, Brother Michael is graduate of Bayina and the Arabic teacher at Good Tree Academy. So he has a lot of experience, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. طيب, now we come to the stories of the Quran. What are we going to study in the stories of the Quran? Of course, we're going to study the plot. What is the story about? And then we're going to study the characters that the story is discussing. You know, we're talking about Harut and Marut. We're talking about Talut and Jalut. We'll be discussing also the characters. And of course, the most important thing, what are the lessons learned from these stories? So the plot. In the plot, we have to know what the story about. How does that help? When you know what the story about, you understand the order. So when he's standing in Taraweeh, he's not going to jump from one place to another. He will go in order. Musa alayhi salam went to the boat first, and then to the ghulam, and then to the third, to the jidar. So he will know the order of the story. And he will know when to stop. Sometimes the reciter is reciting the Quran and he stops in the middle of the story. Now, after he knows what the story is, he knows exactly where to start and where to stop. Second, the characters. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ هَدَى اللَّهِ فَبِهُدَاهِمْ اقْتَدِهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us these characteristics, these characters that He is giving us in the Quran, these are the people to follow. Yusuf alayhi salam, Ayyub alayhi salam. So we will be teaching them their characters so they will learn from them and inshallah ta'ala implement them in their life. And third, the lessons learned. When they know, they will be taught how to derive. This is very deep. How to derive lessons from the story. Okay, we said the story of the Baqarah. What do you understand? Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the longest surah in the Quran, it has so many stories. Why He named it Baqarah? Why He didn't name it Talut? There's many stories in it. They will find out and know how to derive stories. They're not going to be mufassirin after this course, but at least they will know what they're talking about. Second, they will try to take these lessons and implement them in their life. When they know that Ayub was very patient, inshallah ta'ala, they will be patient when they are hit with a calamity. Yusuf alayhi salam went through so many difficulties, but at the end, he rise and he became the Aziz. So they will learn from these lessons how to implement them in their life. What are some of the stories? We will be studying the story of the Baqarah, the story of Talut and Jalut, the story of Harut and Marut, the story of the Kahf, the story of the two gardens, and the story of Musa and the Khidr, the story of Qarun, the story of Luqman, the story of Al-Ukhdud, and the story of Al-Fil. This is some of the stories we will be studying. Now we come, or one more time, the story of Adam, the story of Musa. These are the prophets, Yusuf, Isa, and Ibrahim alayhim salam ajma'in. Now we come to the akhlaq part. Because Rasulullah sallallahu told us, I was sent, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. I was sent to perfect good character. So beside the deen and the akhlaq, they go hand in hand. If somebody prays all day and fast and give a lot of sadaqah, but he has no akhlaq, it's no use. And if somebody has a lot of akhlaq and he does not pray and he does not do anything, no use. They have to go hand in hand. Akhlaq, yani what's the use of a person hafiz the whole Quran and he lies and he curses and he has no idea how to treat the elderly. He has no idea of any kind of akhlaq. Subhanallah, does not make any sense. So the virtues of having good manners, they will be taught that. They will be taught the importance of the hafiz to have a good manner specifically. He is a walking Quran. People are looking up to him. Every act that he does, oh, you're a hafiz and you're doing this, So he has to learn what are the important akhlaq that he should practice on his daily basis. What are some of the akhlaq we will be teaching? Inshallah ta'ala, the akhlaq with the Quran, how to treat the Quran, the akhlaq with the Sunnah, the akhlaq with your fellow Muslims, the akhlaq with the teachers, how you're supposed to respect your teachers, the akhlaq with the elderly, the akhlaq with the parents, the akhlaq with the non-Muslims, and the akhlaq with the neighbors. Plus, they will be taught the akhlaq of eating and drinking, and the akhlaq of sleeping, the manners of traveling, the manners of seeking knowledge, and the manners how they're supposed to act in the masajid and with the duyuf and the adab of visiting the sick. Now, as you can see, this is a very beautiful, comprehensive program that, insha'Allah ta'ala, after this kid spent 2-3 years in memorizing the Quran, now he has something extra to learn, and bi'idhnillah ta'ala, it will make a huge difference. Many times, like Michael said, we hear a hafiz, he put the muttaqeen in hell and he put the kuffar in Jannah because he has no idea what he's saying. So at least those mistakes will be covered. Again, he's not going to be a mufassir after this course, but at least the basics of the Arabic language, the basics plot of the stories, and the basic akhlaq, he will be learning inshallah ta'ala, and bi'idhnillah, he will be implementing. Who is this course for? This is for children from 12 to 22. And they have to show that they have finished the Quran. It's not for everybody. Second, the priority goes first to Dar al-Quran students, then to EPIC families, then to outside. Why? Because we only have 30 spots. That's it. Only 30 spots, and I'm expecting them to be gone the minute we have the open house on Saturday the 18th. Second weekend in Ramadan. So first Dar al-Quran, which is only have 6 or 7 students, so there's a lot of space left for the rest. And then for the people from EPIC that they have kids that are huffaz, and then inshallah ta'ala we'll open it to other families. The first year I will be teaching the stories and the akhlaq. After that, in the meantime, while I'm teaching, Michael will be training people, because I know, inshallah ta'ala, this needs more people. A lot of people are interested in this program. So Michael will be training people, and I will be training people to expand the course, and inshallah ta'ala we'll have 60, and then 90, and then 120. So but we have to train people to be able to teach this program. Any more information that you need, inshallah ta'ala, Brother Imad at the office, they have some list of all the information needed, and anything else you have any questions, you can ask, inshallah. Tfaddal.
It's a great program. We've been looking for something like that in our community. The only questions I have, I think we probably need to add football to the program to teach these kids, some basic football, and how to, in case, let's say somebody praying in salah, leading the salah, and we don't know how to, which one is followed, which was the sunnah. I mean, they mess up the whole salah.
Jazakallah khair, doctor. This is the only portion of fiqh that will be taught, but I did not mention it because it's the only fiqh will be taught is the fiqh of being an imam. That's it. We're not going to go into deep fiqh of salat and deep all kinds of fiqh. Just it's going to be two or 3 days of how to act as an imam. If you break your wudu, what you're supposed to do, how to perform sujood al-sahw. This will be taught in the course, but we did not specify it because it's only going to be 2 or 3 days. But this is the only fiqh will be taught. We don't want to go into different fiqh issues, but the basics, they will be taught because they're going to be imams, inshallah ta'ala, in the future. Anybody else? طيب. Any more information? نعم. The what?
5 to 7.
5 to 7. Monday to Thursday. Just like every other class, inshallah. Yes. جزاكم الله خير. بارك الله فيكم. More information with Brother Imad outside. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Testing. Bismillah. Bismillah. Testing. Bismillah.